Hello, I'm Gabrielle and I'm the Assistant Curator here at Hull and Nice Riding Museum. And today I'm going to talk to you about a couple of Roman lamps that we have in our collections here. Now, Roman lamps are quite commonly found at archaeological sites, and this is because in the days before electricity and before gas lighting, people needed to find another way to light their buildings, their homes, and so forth. And while they could use something maybe like a candle, obviously these didn't last very long, they weren't necessarily that safe. So lamps were safer, they lasted better, and they were easier to use. Lamps could be made out of a variety of materials, so we have ones made of stone, we have ones made of metal, but the majority of them were made out of clay or ceramic, and that's what we have here in our collection. Now, lamps were pretty simple objects, to be fair. So this is quite a simple form of lamp, and it's called a cocked hat lamp because of the way it looks. And it's made out of a single sheet of clay that was then folded to create this kind of nozzle and to create a well in the middle. And you would place a wick into the nozzle of it, and the wick would be made out of something flammable, so maybe like papyrus or some kind of linen. And then you would pour some kind of oil into the well, and this would soak the nozzle and soak the wick, and you could then light the wick and it would continue burning for as long as there was oil in the well. And the oil, I mean, if you were maybe in Italy, you might do something like olive oil. In Britain, you maybe would use a vegetable oil or possibly melted beeswax. And then all you would have to do as the oil ran out was refill it, and the lamp would keep burning. So these are the quite simple forms of lamps that we do find. However, the Romans liked to decorate things. They liked things to look a bit nicer. This is very simple. So what they often did was they used a slightly more complicated form of lamp. And again, you can see it has a nozzle to place the wick in, and it has a well in the middle that you put the oil in. But they've actually covered in the top. They've created a disc on the top to decorate. And what they then did was they used moulded decoration on the top of the lamp to make it look a bit nicer, to make it decorative. So on this lamp, what we have is we have a gladiator. And he stands astride, ready to fight. And you can see on top of his head, he has a helmet with a plume, a very traditional Roman plume. And he's holding a gladius, or a sword, ready to go into battle in one hand, and a shield in the other. So he's a very typical Roman gladiator. And this is very like the kind of things they would put on them. So they might put mythological scenes of fighting, scenes of daily life, to make their lamps look a bit nicer. And one of the wonderful things about this lamp is that we know it was used. And the reason we know that is because it's blackened around the nozzle, and this is because when the wick was placed in there and burnt, it burnt the clay, it blackened the clay around it. So we know that someone in Roman Britain used this lamp, and then eventually it was left, it was got rid of, it was maybe buried. So if you want to come and look at some more of the lamps in our collections or anything else in our Roman collection, do come and visit the Hull and Nice Riding Museum.